Hi, my dear students. Today I am going to discuss with you uh, procedural theory of justice. Previously, I have discussed with you what was the distributive theory of justice. Now, it is my opportunity to discuss with you in a very detailed manner what is procedural theory of justice. Procedural theory of justice, it believes that it does not make any distinction between the production and distribution. This is the first principle. We can say that it does not make any distinction when it comes to the production and the distribution. And then the second point is each individual has his entitlements, which are individual in character. So this theory signifies, or it articulates, that individual is autonomous, individual has his own freedom, and he has his own entitlements, and therefore he can expand, he can maximize his entitlements, and he can grow up so far as his actions are concerned. And this theory actually believes more on individual character, and that each individual has his entitlements, which are individual in character. The state has no authority to interfere in the matters of individual entitlements. So when it comes to the individual rights, when it comes to the individual entitlements, okay, so a state has no authority in order to interfere in the individual entitlements. That is what the procedural theory believes in. This is one of the very important principle of the procedural theory of justice, that is, the state has no authority to interfere in the matter of individual entitlements. It would be unjust if the state would interfere. So this theory believes that if the state is going to intervene or interfere in individual entitlements, then it is going to be unjust, or it is going to be unfair, according to procedural theory of justice. So the procedural theory of justice, the main thrust is the individual are very powerful, they are autonomous, and they are responsible. Responsible for what? Autonomous for what? So whatever they know what is good for them, and they are very powerful, and they are responsible whatever they are doing, and their actions will actually determine their success and failure. If for example, individuals are working hard, suppose in a classroom, if there are many students and few students are working very hard, and there is a possibility that they are going to get good grades in the exam, whereas rest others may not get the same marks which are actually received by few students who are working lot of hard work, who are doing a lot of hard work and putting a lot of efforts and trying to gain more marks in exam. Therefore, the success and failure is actually determined by the actions of the individuals. This theory believes that individuals are very powerful, they are autonomous, and they are responsible. So whatever success they achieve or whatever failure they achieve in their lives, it is because of their actions, it is because of their past activities, it is because of their the whatever they have done and whatever they are doing. So it is because of their actions. The individuals are receiving success stories, they are getting success stories, and as well as they are getting failure stories. So then also this theory believes market can make best use of resources if not intervened. So it believes that limited role of the state, that state should not intervene when it comes to the markets, that the individuals who have this ability and capacity to use his mind to expand his businesses, and when it comes to the free marketing, so markets can make best use of resources if not intervened. If there will be less interference in terms of, according to the procedural theory of justice, then there is a lot of opportunity and there is a lot of possibility that markets can make best use of resources if not intervened. This is one of the point also. So there can be no general this is another point, there can be no general agreement about what constitutes needs or what is just a desert. So when we talk about the needs, the individual needs, or when we talk about the who deserves what, Sometimes we say that somebody deserves based on the merit, and of course that is very true. And sometimes, but this theory says that there can be no general agreement what constitutes actually what's somebody's needs, and what constitutes somebody's, what is just deserved, how somebody is deserving, so then state can step in for help. It is related to market, that if some individuals they fail, for example, they are not prospering too much in terms of business, they are not making a lot of bucks, so state can step in and can play a very positive role in order to help the, those, for those people who are not who are not making big profits, or who are losing their money when it comes to the business. So state can step in and for their help. Robert Nozick is also his book is very important when it comes to the Anarchy State and Utopia. This is the book he has written, Anarchy State and Utopia, and he says that individuals' post actions determine desert. So Robert Nozick also makes a sense that when it comes to the success stories, or when it comes to the what actually one deserves, it is based on the individual's past actions, how he has performed in his past. The stories of success and failure is determined, the actions or the role played by the individual in his past. So this is really a very interesting story, the interesting point, the highlighted by the Robert Nozick, who is also believing in the procedural theory of justice. So individual property holdings are just if they are consequence of fair acquisition and transfer. So he also believes, Robert Nozick also believes, that if somebody is holding the property, and it is just if he has done it, if he has gotten it through the fair acquisition and fair transfer. So that if somebody is not having this a property, another case he is talking about, that rectification is allowed if unfair means or practices have been followed. So if somebody has received a property through unfair means or unfair practices, then definitely there is a need of rectification. Okay, whereas a person who has received a property or in a very fair manner, as well as the transfer in a very fair manner, then there is no need to worry. But if rectification is only allowed when the unfair means or practices have been followed. So this is another very important point highlighted by Robert Nozick, when because he's also believing the procedural theory of justice. Then also the state has a limited role to play in redistribution of individual liberty. Or when it comes to the redistribution, then state, this theory believes that state has a very limited role to play. So these were all important points of the procedural theory of justice. So I hope that you might have taken my lecture very seriously, and see you next time with my another theme, and take care of yourself, stay blessed, and be happy.